Chapter 17. Chapter on the previous lives of Jalavahana's fish disciples. Moreover, O noble goddess, as Jalavahana, the merchant's son, made all beings in the kingdom of King Suvarṇaprabhāsa without illness, or with merely small illness, their bodies were endowed with strength and delight as before. All beings in the kingdom of King Suvarṇaprabhāsa rejoiced, played, enjoyed themselves, gave gifts, and engaged in virtuous deeds. They honored and celebrated Jalavahana, the merchant's son, with these words: May Jalavahana, the merchant's son, be victorious. May he be victorious. The king of medicine, he healed all beings of disease. Surely he must be a bodhisattva. He has mastered the entire eightfold treatise on medical science. O noble goddess, Jalavahana, the merchant's son, had a wife called Suvarṇaprabhāsa. O noble goddess, Suvarṇaprabhāsa, his wife, had two sons. One was called Jalavahana, the other was called Jalagarha. Then, O noble goddess, Jalavahana, the merchant's son, together with his two sons, visited villages, cities, towns, valleys, regions, and royal palaces. On another occasion, O noble goddess, Jalavahana, the merchant's son, went to a forest wilderness. There, in the forest wilderness, he saw flesh-eating dogs, wolves, jackals, flocks of crows, and other birds, all heading in the direction of Atavisambhava, the forest pool. And Jalavahana wondered, why are these flesh-eating dogs, wolves, jackals, flocks of crows, and other birds heading in that direction? He thought, I should go in the direction where the dogs, wolves, jackals, crows, and other birds are running. O noble goddess, then Jalavahana, the merchant's son, gradually headed for Atavisambhava, the forest pool. In that great pool there lived 10,000 fish. There he saw that numerous hundreds of fish were bereft of water. He felt great compassion for those fish. The moment he generated that thought, he saw a goddess emerging from a tree with just half her body. The goddess said this to Jalavahana, the merchant's son: Excellent, excellent, O child of noble family. Since you are called Jalavahana, water bringer, give water to these fish. You are called Jalavahana on two counts, bringing water and giving water. Therefore, live up to your name. Jalavahana asked, O goddess, how many fish are there? The goddess said, There are a full 10,000. Then, O noble goddess, Jalavahana, the merchant's son, was overcome with great compassion. At that time, O noble goddess, in Atavisambhava, the forest pool, there was only a little water left. Without water, the 10,000 fish were dying and thrashing frantically about. Then, O noble goddess, Jalavahana, the merchant's son, ran in the four directions. In whichever direction Jalavahana, the merchant's son, ran, in that direction those 10,000 fish wretchedly looked. O noble goddess, although he ran in the four directions in search of water, Jalavahana, the merchant's son, did not find water there. He looked in the four directions and saw many tall trees not far away. He climbed those trees and cut their branches. Taking the branches to the pool, he built a cooling shade for those 10,000 fish. After this, O noble goddess, Jalavahana, the merchant's son, went searching for water to channel into the pool. He ran in the four directions, thinking, from where could water come? But he could not find any water. Very quickly he followed the stream. Then, O noble goddess, he came to a great river called Jalagama, from which water in the pool of that forest wilderness came. He saw that the river had been made to flow into a chasm by an evil man wishing to starve those 10,000 fish of water and eat them later. He thought, since this river could not be diverted even by 1,000 men, how much less could I alone make it flow back? With this thought, he returned to the pool. Then, O noble goddess, Jalavahana, the merchant's son, went quickly to where King Suvarṇaprabhāsa was. Paying homage with his head at the feet of King Suvarṇaprabhāsa, he sat down on one side and gave this account. In your majesty's kingdom, I have relieved the diseases of beings in every village, city, and town. In one place there is a pool called Atavisambhava. In that pool 10,000 fish are without water and are scorched by the sun. Just as I have given to humans, so I seek by all means to give life to beings with animal rebirths. I request your majesty to give me 20 elephants. Then King Suvarṇaprabhāsa gave this order to his ministers: Give 20 elephants to this king of doctors. And the ministers said, Go to the elephant house, take 20 elephants, help and bring happiness to beings. Then, O noble goddess, Jalavahana, the merchant's son, along with his two sons, Jalambara and Jalagarha, taking 20 elephants and 100 ox-leather bags, returned to where the great river Jalagama flows. They filled the bags with water, put them on the elephants' backs, and sped away to the forest wilderness where the pool Atavisambhava was. They took the bags from the back of the elephants and filled the pool with water. They walked about in the 4 directions. Wherever Jalavahana, the merchant's son, went, those 10,000 fish followed after him. Then, O noble goddess, Jalavahana, the merchant's son, had this thought: "Why are these 10,000 fish following after me?" Then it occurred to him, "No doubt these 10,000 fish are tortured by the fire of hunger and are seeking food from me. I should give them food." Then, O noble goddess, Jalavahana, the merchant's son, said this to his son, Jalambara: "O son, ride the fastest of all the elephants and go quickly to my home. Bring this message to your grandfather, the merchant, and say, 'Grandfather, Jalavahana says, whatever food may be ready in this house for parents, brothers, sisters, male and female servants, or workers, make it into one packet, put it on Jalambara's elephant, and send him quickly to Jalavahana.'" Then the boy, Jalambara, rode the elephant and went running fast to his father's house. There he relayed the message to his grandfather in detail. Then the boy, Jalambara, put the food on the elephant's back and returned to the pool Atavisambhava. Delighted to see his son, Jalavahana received the food. He chopped it into pieces, threw it in the pool, and thus satisfied those 10,000 fish. Then he had this thought: "At another time, from a bhikshu in forest solitude reciting Mahayana texts, I heard that anyone who hears the name of the Tathagata Ratnashikan at the time of death will be reborn into higher states. I should teach the profound teaching of dependent origination and pronounce the name of Buddha Ratnashikan, the Tathagata, the Arhat, the fully enlightened one." However, at that time, the views of beings in Jambudvipa were divided into 2. Some liked and believed in the Mahayana, while others despised it. Then Jalavahana, the merchant's son at that time, stood knee-deep in the pool. He purposefully and solemnly cried, "I prostrate to the Buddha Ratnashikan, the Tathagata, the Arhat, the fully enlightened one." When the Tathagata Ratnashikan was training in bodhisattva deeds, he made this prayer: "At the time of death, whoever in the 10 directions hears my name, may they transmigrate from their world and be reborn into the heaven of the 33. There may they be equal among gods." Then Jalavahana, the merchant's son, expounded the Dharma in this way to those beings in the animal state: "As this exists, this arises. Because this is produced, this is produced. Thus, due to ignorance, karmic formation arises. Due to karmic formation, consciousness arises. Due to consciousness, name and form arise. Due to name and form, the 6 sense sources arise. Due to the 6 sense sources, contact arises. Due to contact, feelings arise. Due to feelings, cravings arise. Due to craving, grasping arises. Due to grasping, existence arises. From existence arises aging and death, sorrow, lamentation, suffering, unease of mind, conflict, and strife. In this way, the great aggregate of suffering comes into being. Furthermore, it is this way: with the cessation of ignorance, karmic formation ceases, and likewise through the cessation of this great aggregate of suffering." Having given this Dharma teaching to those beings in the animal state, O noble goddess, at that time, at that moment, Jalavahana, the merchant's son, returned home with his sons Jalambara and Jalagarbha. Then, at another time, after feasting and drinking at a great festival, Jalavahana, the merchant's son, lay intoxicated on his bed. At that time, at that moment, a great omen occurred. As night came to an end, those 10,000 fish died and were reborn equal among the gods of the 33. The moment they were born, they had this thought: "By reason of what virtuous act have we been born among the gods of the 33? The answer arose in their minds: in Jambudvipa, we were 10,000 fish. While we were in that animal state, Jalavahana, the merchant's son, satisfied us with water and food. We were also given a Dharma teaching on the profound principle of dependent origination. He pronounced to us the name of Ratnashikan, the Tathagata, the Arhat, the fully enlightened one. By reason of this cause and condition, we were born among the gods. We should go to where Jalavahana, the merchant's son, is and make offerings to him." Then those 10,000 sons of gods disappeared from among the gods of the 33 and went to the house of Jalavahana, the merchant's son. At that time, while Jalavahana, the merchant's son, lay sleeping in his bed, those sons of gods placed 10,000 pearl necklaces at his head. They placed 10,000 pearl necklaces at the soles of his feet. They placed 10,000 pearl necklaces on his right. They placed 10,000 pearl necklaces on his left. they rained down a great shower of divine Mandorava flowers, Maha Mandorava flowers. They played divine cymbals, and the sound of these cymbals woke up the people of Jambudvipa. Jalavahana, the merchant's son, woke up too. Then those 10,000 sons of gods rose into the sky. Having rained down a shower of divine flowers in other regions of King Suvarṇaprabhāsa's realm, they went to Atavisambhava, the forest pool, and scattered there a great shower of divine Maha Mandorava flowers. Becoming invisible in that spot, they soared back to their divine abodes. There they frolicked in the 5 sensual objects and enjoyed themselves. Delighting in what pleased them, they experienced great glory and good fortune. Then, as day broke in Jambudvipa, King Suvarṇaprabhāsa saw these omens and asked his astrologers and chief minister, "Why did those signs appear last night?" they said. "May it please your majesty to know, in the house of Jalavahana the merchant's son, there rained down 40,000 pearl necklaces and cascades of divine Mahamandorava flowers." Then King Suvarṇaprabhāsa said to the ministers, "Sirs, with kind words, summon Jalavahana the merchant's son." The astrologers and senior ministers went to Jalavahana's house and said to Jalavahana the merchant's son, "King Suvarṇaprabhāsa has asked for you." Then Jalavahana the merchant's son, together with senior ministers, went to King Suvarṇaprabhāsa. The king asked, "Jalavahana, last night such omens occurred. Do you know the reason such omens appeared?" Then Jalavahana the merchant's son replied to King Suvarṇaprabhāsa, "I do, your majesty. Certainly they were omens for the death of the 10,000 fish." The king said, "How do you know?" Jalavahana said, "Your majesty, let my son Jalambara go to the pool to see whether those 10,000 fish are alive or dead." The king said, "So be it." Then Jalavahana the merchant's son said to Jalambara, "Son, go. Check whether the 10,000 fish in the pool Atavisambhava are dead or not dead." Then the boy Jalambara went quickly to the pool Atavisambhava and saw that those 10,000 fish had died. He saw that there had been a great shower of divine Mahamandorava flowers as well. He returned and said to his father, "They are dead." As soon as he heard these words from his son Jalambara, Jalavahana the merchant's son approached King Suvarṇaprabhāsa and gave this message in detail. "Your majesty, I beg you to know, the 10,000 fish died and were reborn among the gods of the 33. It was through their power and my power too that there were such auspicious omens last night. At my home too there rained down 40,000 pearl necklaces and divine Mahamandorava flowers." Upon hearing this news, the king was delighted and full of joy. Then the Tathagata said this to the noble goddess Bodhisattva Samuchaya, "O noble goddess, if you think that King Suvarṇaprabhāsa at that time, at that moment was another, do not see it like that. Why? Because Dandapani, the Shakyan at that time and at that moment, was called the King Suvarṇaprabhāsa. O noble goddess, if you think that the merchant Jatimdhara at that time, at that moment, was another, do not see it like that. Why? Because King Shuddhodana at that time, at that moment, was the merchant called Jatimdhara. O noble goddess, if you think that Jalavahana at that time, at that moment, was another, do not see it like that. Why? At that time, at that moment, I was the merchant's son called Jalavahana. O noble goddess, if you think that his wife Jalambagarbha at that time, at that moment, was another, do not see it like that. Why? Gopa, the Shakya daughter at that time, at that moment, was his wife called Jalambagarbha. At that time, at that moment, Rahula was his son called Jalambara. The noble Ananda was his son called Jalagarbha. O noble goddess, if you think that the 10,000 fish were others at that time and at that moment, do not see it like that. Why? At that time, at that moment, the 10,000 sons of gods, such as Javalanantarate Joraja, were the 10,000 fish who I satisfied with water and excellent food, and to whom I gave the profound Dharma teaching on the principle of dependent origination, and pronounced the name of Ratnashikan, the Tathagata, the Arhat, the fully enlightened one. By reason of that virtuous cause, they have come here and received the prophecy of supreme and perfect enlightenment. Furthermore, because they have listened to this Dharma teaching with intense joy, aspiration, supreme joy and reverence, they have all received prophecies and names. O noble goddess, if you think that the forest goddess at that time, at that moment, was another, do not see it like that. Why? O noble goddess, at that time, at that moment, you were that forest goddess. On these counts, O noble goddess, Let it be known that while revolving in cyclic existence, I have fully ripened many beings toward full awakening, and all receive the prophecy to supreme and perfect enlightenment. This is the end of chapter 17.